A young Filipino boy, coming from a humble background and carrying nothing but a worn guitar and quiet determination, stepped onto the audition stage with an air of shyness that made many in the audience and even the judges assume he would deliver a simple or forgettable performance. His clothes were modest, his voice soft during introductions, and Simon Cowell in particular regarded him with the kind of skeptical curiosity he's known for, expecting perhaps nerves or inexperience to overshadow potential. However, the moment the boy gently strummed the opening chords of Hotel California, the atmosphere in the room shifted, the clarity of his playing and the confidence in his fingers drew the audience's attention almost instantly. As he began to sing, his soulful tone, rich control, and emotional depth stunned the room into silence. People who had looked down or been distracted now stared in disbelief, some raising their phones to record what they sensed was a rare moment. Judges exchanged looks of surprise, and Simon, who had leaned back at first, slowly leaned forward, eyes widening in shock. Midway through the performance, when the boy transitioned into the intricate guitar solo, his skill exceeded all expectations, delivering each note with precision and passion. Applause erupted even before he finished, and the audience's energy swelled into cheers and gasps. By the time the final note faded, there was a brief, powerful silence followed by a thunderous standing ovation from the crowd and the judges alike. Simon Cowell, often sparing with praise, was visibly moved, even smiling in disbelief as he acknowledged the boy's extraordinary talent. What began as a quiet entrance from an underestimated kid ended as a moment of triumph that no one in the room would forget. A young Filipino boy from a modest background stepped onto the audition stage with little fanfare, carrying a well-used guitar and a quiet, almost hesitant presence. His simple attire and soft-spoken introduction did little to spark excitement from the audience or the judges, especially Simon Cowell, who watched with his usual guarded skepticism. Many in the crowd assumed they were about to witness an ordinary performance, perhaps even an awkward one. But the moment he strummed the opening notes of Hotel California, the atmosphere in the room transformed. The clarity and confidence in his playing captured attention almost immediately. When he began to sing, his voice, unexpectedly soulful, mature, and rich with emotion, left the room stunned. Audience members who had been distracted moments before now focused intently, some whispering in disbelief while others quickly raised their phones to record the unfolding moment. As the performance progressed, the boy's mastery of the song only became more apparent, especially when he transitioned into the iconic guitar solo with flawless precision and heartfelt intensity. Midway through, applause began bubbling up despite the song not being finished. Judges exchanged wide-eyed glances, and Simon slowly leaned forward, his expression shifting from doubt to awe. By the song's final note, the entire room had fallen silent for a beat, as if trying to process what they had just witnessed. Then came a sudden eruption of cheers followed by a full standing ovation. Simon, known for his rare and guarded praise, smiled in disbelief and admitted he had never expected such power and talent from someone so unassuming. What had begun as a quietly overlooked audition turned into a powerful moment of triumph, proving that true talent can emerge from the most unexpected places and silence even the harshest critics. A young Filipino boy, dressed simply and carrying a weathered guitar, stepped onto the audition stage with a shy demeanor that caused many in the audience to underestimate him instantly. His soft voice during the introduction and humble appearance led some viewers and even the judges to believe they were about to witness an average or nervous performance. Simon Cowell, known for his sharp instincts and high expectations, watched with a skeptical expression, arms folded and eyebrows raised. The audience was scattered in attention, some whispering, others glancing at phones, unaware that they were moments away from being completely captivated. The shift in the room began the moment the boy strummed the first chords of Hotel California. The sound was unexpectedly clean, confident, and full of character, drawing eyes to the stage. As he began to sing, the transformation was immediate and powerful. His voice carried a soulful richness and emotional depth far beyond his years, stunning the audience into silence. Viewers who had been dismissive at first began recording with their phones, exchanging shocked looks. The judges, initially composed, leaned in with growing interest, their expressions changing from polite observation to genuine surprise. Simon's face, once impassive, showed signs of disbelief as he listened more intently. When the boy approached the iconic guitar solo, he performed it with remarkable skill and precision, owning each note with passion and confidence. Mid-performance applause broke out, rare in such competitions, and by the final note, the room was completely transformed. A moment of stunned quiet was followed by a thunderous standing ovation. Simon, rarely impressed so visibly, offered a sincere smile and admitted he had not expected anything close to that level of talent. What started as an overlooked audition became a defining moment that left the entire room in awe, proving that greatness can emerge from the most unassuming beginnings. A young Filipino boy, dressed plainly and carrying a weathered guitar, stepped onto the audition stage with a quiet presence that drew little attention. His shy demeanor, soft-spoken introduction, and modest appearance made many in the audience assume he was just another hopeful with limited experience. Even the judges, especially Simon Cowell, seemed unsure of what to expect. The atmosphere in the room was casual and slightly distracted, with some people whispering or checking their phones, not anticipating anything remarkable. The moment he strummed the opening chords of Hotel California, the energy in the room began to shift. His playing was unexpectedly clean, confident, and full of character, immediately drawing curious glances from the audience. As he started to sing, his voice revealed a soulful richness and emotional maturity far beyond his age. Conversations stopped, phones were lowered, and attention snapped to the stage. Audience members exchanged surprised looks, while some quickly began recording what they instinctively sensed was a special moment. The judges' reactions evolved just as dramatically. At first politely attentive, they soon leaned forward, visibly struck by his tone, control, and presence. Simon Cowell, known for his skepticism and high standards, transitioned from guarded doubt to intense focus. His eyebrows lifted, and his usual stoic expression softened into one of genuine intrigue. The boy's confidence grew with each line, and when he reached the iconic guitar solo, he performed it with stunning precision and heartfelt delivery, showcasing skill that stunned even seasoned listeners. Before he even finished, applause broke out across the room, something rarely seen mid-performance. When the final note faded, there was a moment of complete silence, followed by a powerful standing ovation. The judges rose with the crowd, and Simon, smiling in disbelief, admitted he had never expected such talent from such an unassuming contestant. What began as an overlooked audition became a breathtaking moment that proved greatness often comes from the most unexpected places. A young Filipino boy stepped onto the audition stage with little notice. He wore simple clothes and carried a well-used guitar that hinted at countless hours of practice, but his quiet presence did not immediately impress the audience. His soft introduction drew only mild attention, and many people assumed his performance would be ordinary. Simon Cowell, seated with his usual skeptical expression, observed with minimal expectation. The atmosphere in the room was casual, even distracted. Some audience members whispered among themselves while others glanced at their phones, barely engaged. The judges maintained polite interest, but their body language suggested doubt. The boy's demeanor was humble, and nothing about his entrance signaled that something remarkable was about to unfold. The stage light seemed almost too big for someone so unassuming. Everything changed with the first chords of Hotel California. His guitar playing was confident, clear, and unexpectedly skillful. The crisp sound cut through the room and caused a few heads to turn. The casual chatter stopped almost instantly. As he began to sing, the audience's attention sharpened. His voice carried an emotional depth and control that contrasted sharply with his quiet appearance. The judges' expressions shifted quickly. Surprise replaced indifference, and Simon Cowell leaned forward, clearly intrigued. The boy grew more confident as he continued, pouring passion into every lyric. When he reached the iconic guitar solo, he delivered each note with masterful precision. Audience members started recording the moment, whispering in disbelief at the talent unfolding before them. As the final note faded, the room held a breathless pause before erupting into applause. A full standing ovation followed, with cheers echoing across the stage. Simon, rarely visibly impressed, smiled genuinely and admitted he had underestimated the boy completely. What began as an overlooked audition became a breathtaking moment that no one present would forget.